Real shit. Different, I ain't nothing like these others. I be on my hustle trying to make something from nothing. If it ain't about the money, then there's no need to discuss it. Cause I'm just trying to eat and feed my niggas like a lunch. And I go hard just like Russell turned a 0 to a triple double. We really got it out the mud. If you hating, it's fuck you. Just trying to run it up fast like Sonic and Knuckles. But it's a marathon, that's word to Nipsey the hustle. We really started from the bottom, born right in the struggle. Soon as you make it out this bitch, they gon' hate you or love you. But soon as you get the ball, just make sure you don't fumble. And let them know you need the bread and all of the crumbles. My top down as I'm riding through the jungle. Sometimes I wonder why they wanna keep us under. The system fucked up for a young black.
What's up? What motherfucking is it up? What's the motherfucking deal? We back in motherfucking again with another episode of Any and Everything Podcast by two motherfucking kings. I'm motherfucking DJ.
I'm King Perez.
And we back like cooked crack in the 80s, just like that. You better stop playing, boy. Y'all better hit that rocket or drop it segment. That's that rocket or drop it. That's Moolah, No Procrastination. Duo Moolah, No Procrastination. We're going to play that song at the end of the show. Make sure y'all hit those polls. Make sure y'all like. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all do what y'all been doing and continue doing what we doing. We at 10K views. Let those views start equaling up to those followers and those likes, because we know what them views is.
Right, really? Keep it going. So what's the deal, my brother?
We had a little situation. We talking to somebody directly. Quincy knows. A guy that reached out to us. He said he saw our default dad post, that show, and he said, he's not dealing with a default dad case, but he is dealing with a case, and he asked us for some help. I'm gonna set the precedence to let everybody know. We already spoke to him. He said it's okay to put this out. So if you got any information that could help this man, he said he's from Illinois. His situation is from Illinois to Dallas. We about to tell you about that. So if you an Illinois worker, law worker, anything, lawyer, whatever, help that man out, right? The situation is, he said his baby mama upped and moved, took his son, and left and moved to Dallas. He put in a bunch of court orders, paid for a lawyer, spent such and such our money, to make sure that this happened. His lawyer kind of like, pussyfoot him around, like you said happened with you before, you feel me? So obviously I know you're going to tell him to make sure he's studying up on his laws, you feel me? So, and he said, fucked around, took visitation rights, all that shit, and the lawyer and the judge pretty much like, you got to go down there and handle that at this point. You know what I'm saying? Which is fucked up.
Yeah, it's real bad. And, a lot of fathers, it's not that. People got to understand, a lot of fathers are not deadbeat fathers.
That's a fact.
It's just that they reach from the court is very short. And what I mean by that, you're already paying child support. You already got your everyday expenses. A lot of people can't afford lawyers. So it's not just so easy for them to tell you, okay, get a lawyer and come to court.
Right.
In this practice, I know most lawyers charge just to start off like $3,500
for sure
for a retainer's fee.
Yep. We on the same page.
You figure $3,500. If you're already strapped for cash, where are you gonna get that from?
Regardless whether you strapped or not.
Right. It's a bad situation because when you go to court, they really don't do anything. They say a couple of words and they say, okay, we're gonna resume this at such and such date and time. Mm-hmm. So this can be tied up in court for years. Because to me, I think it's a racket.
Yeah.
To pretty much wear you down, wear your finances down to where you can't even fight no more.
Patience and everything, bro.
Because you gotta look at it. You going to court every 3 weeks to a month. And when you go to court, nothing is being resolved.
And then they postpone the dates.
Then they want you to go to these programs, and they want you to pay for it out of pocket.
But shit, in his case, that shit is way different because she just upped and dipped. You know what I'm saying? I told him, I was talking to him. We was having a dialogue, and what up, bro? I'm the one you was speaking with, whatever. You was speaking with both of us, but the dialogue was through me for sure. So I was talking to him. I'm like, man, my case, I battled for two of my kids. You feel me? Right. 2 out of 4 of my kids. You feel me? I battled for them, but my case wasn't like how yours is, how his is. Mine was, shit, go get you a lawyer. because I didn't know. So my first thing was, shit, what you don't know, you pay for.
Right.
So I paid for it. You know, I got me a good lawyer at that. And my lawyer became so trustworthy from my first case. I worked with her, you know, from my first case to my second case, because I did my oldest child, we fought more than once in 2 different counts. And then we won both of those. And then my daughter, and then, you know, I won that as well. So hearing what I'm saying, hearing what y'all saying, I can relate on the point of fighting for your child, but I can't relate upon the stretch, because I walked in with a smile and left with a smile.
But I mean, every case is different. Then you got to look at every state is different.
Definitely.
When it goes to laws, you know, different laws that governs, you know, friends of the court and child custody. So just to give you a kind of like an insight and give everybody an insight what I was going through, I fought for my youngest daughter for 4 years. So I was going to court for 4 years. You know what I'm saying? And this is custody, parenting time. You know what I'm saying? So you figure like, oh man, 4 years, that's a long time. And if you look at it, who really can retain a lawyer for 4 years? You know, I mean, you know how much amount of money that you would spend fighting that case? You know, that's thousands. So in my particular case, what it was, me and the daughter mom separated. And, you know, at first everything was okay. And we were co-parenting. Then, you know, it came to a point where she had other kids. So it was a thing of, I'm buying my daughter this, I'm buying my daughter that, and her kids don't have the same thing. So I'm like, you know, well, that's not my fault.
That's their father's
fault. You know what I'm saying? You need to talk to their father about that, because what I buy my kid, you know what I'm saying, is what I choose to buy him. So we bumped heads on things like that, you know. So it got to the point where she started keeping my daughter from me. So I had to go to court, file, you know, motions, you know, for parenting time. And every time I go, you know, it was a thing to the point where we're going to give you make-up parenting time. I mean, really make-up parenting time is
time that I'm
joke.
supposed to already have anyway.
I mean, the thing about that is that's no consequences of her actions. So make-up parenting time, we going to court, I'm filing a motion and I'm spending money to do all this, and you say, well, he'll tell, you know, the mother, like, well, you got to give them parenting time.
And they still don't.
And they still don't.
Now, I will say, before I obtained my lawyer for my daughter's case, I was going through the flux, because I thought, I'm like, shoot, this child neglect, she was keeping me from, you know, my child, you feel me? So I'm like, this going to be easy. I don't need no lawyer. Went to fight the case. The judge, I swear to God, it was a year in, a judge told me, straight out her mouth, that, because I wasn't seeing my daughter. I ain't seen my daughter in a whole, almost 6 months. And I'm like, you know, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. I'm paying my child support. I got my orders and all of this, and she not letting me see my child. You feel me? She was like, it's been 6 months. You only saw her how many times? I say, I only saw her twice since she been born. So I guess we'll just keep it that way. We're not going to press the issue. I say, what you mean? She like, if you haven't seen her, we're not going to press the issue. We'll just keep on going about what we're going. She, mind you, the mother did not come to court.
Exactly.
The mother did not show up. We're going to keep on going about how visitation rights are and such. I'm like, but yeah, even though we're going about that, I'm only supposed to get like weak ass Sunday. She like, I'm like, even though we're going like that, she not even giving me my child. She like, that's not something that I'm going to battle with today. Bitch. I couldn't say that now. I can say it now. That's my platform, bitch. I would call my baby mama I'll pick up your phone, call. No answer. Pick up your phone. Call again. Oh, you blocked. I'm like, bro, all I want to see is my child.
And see, when judges do things like that and say things like that, it's on a record. So you can go and you can file to get them court records.
But if you didn't know.
So,
you feel me?
That type of situation, what you do is you file and you get the transcripts and you go to the judge's tribunal, because the judges have bosses too, which a lot of people don't know. They think when a judge says something, that's the final word. That's not the final word, Because you can't go to the tribunal if you feel like a judge is not handling a case and handle the situation and being biased. You know what I'm saying? You can't fight that.
For sure.
And the thing that happened with me was my kid mother, she really got upset because I was taking her court, back and forth to court, filing these motions to get parenting time. And, you know, basically, when I filed a motion for parent alienation. And that's when, you know, the mother,
Child neglect.
right, keeps the child from you. And, you know, basically what they are doing is persuading the child to
Not to even want to go there.
Right, to be with one parent and dislike the other parent. So, you know, after that came up, what she did, she filed a case with CPS and said I molested my daughter. Now, this just hit me out the blue because I'm at home one day and, you know, I got other kids. So I'm at home one day, I get a knock on the door.
Ooh.
And I'm like, you know, who is it? And it's like, it's so-and-so from CPS. And I'm like, CPS? I'm like, okay, you know, what's going on? Well, we have somebody filed with us that, you know, your daughter
They
was
never tell you.
touched
They can't tell you who
inappropriate.
said it.
Right. So I was like, oh, nah, that's
Far-fetched as
like,
fuck.
you know, what the... I'm like, all my kids are here with me except my youngest one. And she was like, yeah, it's your youngest one. So when she said that, I already knew what was up. You know what I'm saying? So what I did, I went to her mother house. I called the police. Had the police meet me there. Okay, you going to say that I molested my daughter? Let's take my daughter to the hospital and get checked out. So I had the police there with me. And the police was like, you know, just take her to the hospital, get her checked out, and, you know, we can confirm this. She slammed the door and didn't open it. So the police was like, well, I can't make her take the child to the hospital. But I was like, well, you see what I'm going with this, you know what I'm saying? So I need y'all to make a report that y'all came out.
Yep.
We talked to the mother. She wouldn't take the child to the hospital. You know what I'm saying? So I had to battle with CPS till they, you know, basically looked over all my paperwork and all the, how many times we've been to court fighting over custody, and CPS dropped the case because they was like, well, this is not abuse case. This is what you call, you know, two parents, you know, fighting over custody and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they dropped it. But the thing about it is, when CPS dropped it, the courts wouldn't drop it.
You said they didn't?
No, CPS dropped the case. I went to court. Showed them all the paperwork from CPS.
Oh, they still try to hold it against you.
Right. The courts wouldn't drop it.
Oh.
So they wanted me to do visitations, supervised visitations. So we was doing the supervised visitations and shit like that. They wanted me to go to this other program that cost about $300 and something.
Yeah, them bitches do be taxed.
You know what I'm saying? So I paid the $300 and something to go through that. And, you know, it came to a point where she even stopped bringing her to the supervised visitation. So when I went back to court, she wouldn't show up. So I told the judge, I'm like, okay, you got me on supervised visitation. I'm paying child support. You know, I'm still not seeing my kid, and I've still got this case lingering over me. So, you know, where are we going to go from now? So he was like, well, we'll resume it. We'll give her time to come to court. Then, you know what I'm saying, we'll take it from there. Had to be patient again. Mm-hmm. Next court date, she didn't show up. So he wanted to resume it again. I was like, fuck that.
You got to be assertive, bro.
You know, I went the fuck off. I was like, you know, you've been over my case for the last, at that time, it was like 3 years. Every time we come to court, it's the same bullshit. I need you to do your fucking job. I mean, I went off on them. They was about to arrest me and everything. I went off on them. He was like, well, I just got this case. I was like, motherfucker, you had the case for 3 years. I know you remember me because I'm in here like almost every fucking month.
At least once a month, twice a month.
I talked to him so bad to the point where he refused himself from the case. He's like, I'm not dealing with you.
That's good.
You know
that benefited you though.
So he got off the case, but I'm gonna tell you a backstory behind that because I'll tell you who was the judge. Matter of fact, the judge I had, what pissed him off even more. he got caught at the airport trying to solicit sex from another man in the bathroom. Now, I caught wind of this shit.
What's his name?
Judge Richard. I don't give a fuck to say his name. Fuck him.
Well, you know his first name, you know his last name.
Judge Richard. Down at the motherfucking, where is he at? He's at Wayne County. So, you know, this is nothing fictional. This is all facts. You know what I'm saying? So I printed flyers with this motherfucking name on it and his court case. And I passed them out. Because I didn't give a fuck. You fucking me around, I'm gonna fuck you around. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I did that just to show him, like, motherfucker, you want to preside over my case and fuck me around. Let's let the people know what type of person you are. So when he refused himself from the case, it went on to another judge. And what tripped me out when I got Judge Pierce.
Mm-hmm. You remember these motherfuckers?
Yeah, I remember.
None of their names.
Dude, I was in court so much, I remember them by name. Judge Pierce was like, why do I even have this case? Why is this case still pending? This shit should have been over a long time ago. Mm-hmm. She's like, I'm not going to, go into it right now because I got to read up on it because there's so much paperwork and case history on this case. I just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm just meeting you. Mm-hmm. So she was like, give me a couple of weeks. Let me read through this.
Yeah, let me review everything.
So my thing was, okay, now she took my daughter and bust up. She moved to Atlanta. So I filed for custody. So when I got custody, because she wasn't showing up for court, I filed kidnapping charges on her. They still was doing the child support, so I had them hold child support into what they call like when escrow. They were told the child support in escrow.
Make sure you listening, bro, because this could be something that can help you.
If your kid's
or
mother
anybody's shit
run off with your kid and you have a custody order, you don't have to fund her escape. You can go to the court and ask the court to stop child support and put child support in escrow. They'll still take it, but they'll put it in escrow until she appear in court. So if she don't appear in court and you file for custody, sooner or later she's going to lose custody. Because she's going to lose custody by default. So, and that's what my kid's mother did. She lost custody by default, but the judge was so, pissed at everything that she did, she took her custody from her. Mm-hmm. So, right now I have full custody of my daughter. Her mother has no right to her, no parental rights, anything. In order for her to see my daughter right now, she'll have to go to jail for the kidnapping charge, go to court for the parent alienation charge.
For sure, get a lawyer.
She has to go to a therapist. She has to go to family counseling. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of steps that she has to do right now if she ever want to see my kid again, which I know that she's not going to do. Because who's going to turn themselves in?
So to talk to them first, it sounds like, because like I said, mine wasn't as bad as yours, you feel me? So create a track record, bro.
You
y'all
gotta have paperwork.
You create a track record. Like, we can't just take this shit to the chin and shit like that. Like, if it starts somewhere, make sure you document that. I hate to say through the police, but
no, I mean every time that you have a visitation day and that mother don't show up, write that day down. Keep it on the same piece of paper.
If you
always take your paperwork. Every piece of paper that you file, I had a file this thick. Mm-hmm. Always take all your paperwork to court.
If you paying child support, see if you find out if you can get your child support held or withheld until court is back in session.
If she's not coming to court and she done took your child and ran off, you can definitely go to court and file a motion for that child support to be put in account.
Or if you feel like if they jerking you around here and you saying you already flew back and forth a couple of times, see if you could get free counsel in Dallas or in another state.
And what I tell a lot of fathers, man, because you go down to court, I mean, you'll have people tell you, well, just just give up and just you'll see your kid when they turn 18.
I swear to God, that's what they
You
told
know,
me.
That's the advice that they give you.
I see you. You will see her on Facebook. You know her name, right? I swear to God, they told me that.
To me, that's the boldest shit ever.
Some dumb shit.
You know what I'm saying? And it's not an easy fight for anybody that's fighting for custody or anybody that's fighting for parenting time. That's not an easy fight.
Hell no.
And you're gonna be fighting for years. It's an up and down battle. You're gonna be depressed.
You definitely gotta be diligent.
Pick yourself up, but you gotta stay on your grind. I mean, if you want to see your child and you want to be in your child's life, that's worth the fight.
I mean, it's fucked up that you got to do this. So shit, sometimes like, damn, is it really worth the fight? A father should be able to be a father, just like a mother should be able to be a mother. It shouldn't have to be. This shouldn't be the case. But damn,
the laws ain't that way. You know, you automatically a deadbeat when you go down there. You're a deadbeat while you fighting to see your kid. That's how they got the court set up. You know, you go down there, they say it's not bias, it's bias all the way.
It is.
And, you know, what a lot of guys got to understand, too, when they send you to these mediators, because, I'm not going to say they're mediators, they referees.
You're right.
I laugh at their ass. They not judges. So that shit the referee tell you be all bullshit. When a referee make a decision on your shit, always file an appeal.
Yeah, because that's just them trying to make it seem like trying to keep it from the judge anyway.
I can't even remember her name because she was so insignificant. But I think her name was Judge Rebecca or some shit like that. This bitch told me just because I'm in court fighting for my kids, she'll make it to where I never see my daughter again. And I was like, I told her, I was like, what you say? You say that again. I was like, you're on record, right? And I can pull these transcripts. And I was like, you for to be, biased to what's going on. But, you so frustrated because, you got to sit here and listen. If you ain't want to do the job, you shouldn't have got up this morning.
You ain't want to do the case, you should have took the job.
I mean, I gave zero fucks when I went down there fighting for my kid.
Facts.
Because, I wasn't no go for it. I've been a father for years and raising my kids. And when it came down to this last one, I just had to battle for it. And I accepted the battle because I don't separate my kids. I don't care if they got different mothers. I'm not going to separate them. They're going to be together.
And we definitely, I say this generation, our generation, encompassed with yours as well. We definitely taking on that battle of being fathers, man. We definitely, because it's like now motherfuckers be like, bro, I don't even want you around if you ain't taking care of your kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how we are. Shit, if you ain't taking care of your kids or you ain't fighting for your kids or at least trying, what's your excuse? You can't have no bullshit excuse because shit, that's your lineage, boy, girl, whatever.
And we gotta get out of the culture of being scared to go down to that court
and battle these courts. And just like anything, a stance is a stance. We as fathers, we gotta go down there and march and go down there and protest on them court stairs and be like, we're not having this shit no more. You know what I'm saying? If we don't get tired of it, they're not gonna get tired of it. Hey, what we gotta do for sure is continue to like and share these posts because we in Detroit.
Right.
We can go down here and be combative with our, you feel me? But would that help him in a whole nother state? You feel me? Would that help somebody else in California? You know what I'm saying?
You got different groups in different states that you need to align with because, it's a lot of fathers out here that's going through the same battles. So we need to come together. Don't think this fight is just your fight. It's a lot of fathers fight. You know what I'm saying? This is real. Because, as easy it is for a mother to get out of being a mother, it's not that easy for a father.
It's not. And even though we want to be in our kids' life, they still make it so hard.
So it's like plenty of times I told people, any of these groups, any of these forums want to, put in the leg work, go down there, march, sign petitions. I'm down for it. Mm-hmm. I've been through it personally, so I know the struggles of it. I know how it has you feeling. Mm-hmm. Because when somebody tells you that you can't see your kid because it's allegations that you molested your kids, you are furious.
You know, I had one hit me. So you know, I get frequent nosebleeds. I just be sitting somewhere and my nose will bust out bleeding. You know, this shit that's hereditary. That shit, me, my father. You feel me? My kids, my daughter, my son. You know, all that type of shit. So my daughter had like freaking nosebleeds or whatever. She'd go to school with nosebleeds and shit too. So one day she come home, clothes change, go over at mama's house, come back, all that shit, right? Next week, CPS come knocking on my door, bang, 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 what's up? You know, la, la, la. They talk about something. I punched my daughter in her eye and made her nose bleed. She said, I'm reading this and it says you punched her in the eye and made her nose bleed. Said if I punch her in the eye, want her, I'll be black. Like, did anybody document that? And they're like, you know, da-da-da-da. So we end up coming in and talking and everything. They ask me, they say, so what do you do as a form of discipline? I'm the soft parent, bro. I don't hit my kids. I'm get on the wall like you sitting on the toilet and, you know, I do shit like that. So she asked, so I told her that. She said, can I talk to your daughter? I said, yeah, call my princess, come downstairs. Somebody want to talk to you. She like, hi. I had to step away, but I was on the other end of the wall listening. Right. They're like, hey, did your daddy hit you? Oh, no, my daddy wouldn't dare put his hands. He don't hit me. No. Have you ever hit you and made your nose bleed? No, I just have freaking nosebleeds all the time, you know, such and such, you know, say shit. And they're like, so how do your daddy discipline you? What you mean? Do your daddy whoop you? No. What do you do when you get in trouble? So she said, I can show you. I don't know what it's called. So she was like, okay, go ahead, show me. You're not in trouble. So she sat on the wall and she did it. She was like, oh, okay. Man, talked to my oldest son and such that. And whole time she like, man, I'm apologizing for even have to come out here and you have to even deal with some bullshit like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are one of the good fathers, and these fathers be getting put in positions that if it's shit, me having my kids and having to deal with child support coming, you fighting for your daughter because of some false ass molesting allegation, dog, baby mama dipping out of shit. You know what I'm saying?
And you think they would take into account that I have 3 other daughters. So at this time, I think my oldest daughter was like she probably was like 19 or going into her 20s. Then, you know, I had my second oldest, and I had, you know, my third daughter. So, I mean, all in all, I've been raising kids for probably about around 23, 24 years by then. You know, never had any allegations towards me. Majority of the time, my daughters live with me.
The relationship with the child's mothers
right.
is
superb.
You know what I'm saying?
We
co-parents swell.
They come to the house when they feel like it. You know what I'm saying? There's an open door policy. You know, and when the representative from CPS basically did the leg work, you know, which, you know, I was glad she was one of the people that took the time to really, you know, research the family background and how my family was set up, you know, so she knew the ins and outs of how we do things. And she was like, you know, this is, you know, this is disgusting. This is, you know, a disgrace that you had to, you know, go through this, and you're a father that basically, you know, you raising all girls, and, you know, you are in all of their lives, you know. So it's one of them things, man, that you can never tell who you with, and you can never tell how they're gonna react after the breakup.
All right.
You know, but as a father, you have rights, and you just don't give them up. I don't care how hard the fight is.
You gotta keep battling, dog.
You know, I hear dudes say, well, man, I'm not gonna deal with my kid because the mother is this and that. That just let me know you really don't give a fuck about your kids, and you give
that's
it
an
up.
excuse.
That's an excuse.
That's an excuse, bro. I'll be like, man, how can you unite? You can do whatever you want to do. We can do whatever. Right. Fight for jobs, fight for positions, fight for office, fight for power, fight for whatever, fight for nothing.
Right.
You feel
Basically.
me? But you won't fight for your own kid, your own flesh and blood, bro. You gotta be able to go to bat for that.
And dude, I did a 4-year battle.
Man, what?
You know,
that's high school.
I think I got my youngest daughter when she was, my think I took custody of her when she was like 4 years old. You know what I'm saying? From being born to 4 years old, it was a battle every day. You know what I'm saying? So from 4 years old to 12 years old now, she's been with me full time.
And good and comfortable.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you hate to be to the point where you don't have both parents. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like, you know, that's why I always check with her, you know, because my other kids had their mothers in their life. She doesn't have her mother in her life. So sometimes, you know, I just want to see where she's at, like you say, mentally. In her mind, you know what I'm saying, and make sure everything is good with her because she has been through, you know, a little bit. She's been through more than my other kids has been through. You know, and it's sad, and for a father, that type of shit hurts.
Hell yeah, you never want to see your princesses, whatever the word is. You don't never want to see them feeling no type of hurt, because as a father, that's what you want to protect them for. Right. You want your prince or your princess to feel empowered hurt that's gonna make them build them into becoming a man or a grown boy. But and when you're not there to shelter them and shield them from that, man, I miss my daughter's first walks, her first talks, her first teas. You feel me? And it's just like when I do establish those first of her being new, going forth in life, that shit is like a blessing to me. Like I said, I had to fight for my son, but before the fight was with my son's mother, you feel me? He was still living with me, so I had to fight for it to keep him. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's still different, So, and we just go through so much with the fight, and it's always a fight. It's always a fight. Why do I have to be a fight, bro?
And like I tell him, if
the dick was good, motherfucker, and I had you that one off, whether you let me fuck once or twice or man, these women out here, man, and they use these kids as pawns, bro.
And I tell people, you don't have to give your kid back to the mother.
Yes, you do, because that should be kidnapping.
Let me tell you something. If you got joint physical custody of your kid,
and
you talking about that been living with you all the time, and the mother just pop up one day out the blue, talking about my kid gotta go, that's a court issue. Yep. You don't even have to open the door for the police. You don't have a warrant. This is a different issue. This is not a crime. This has to be played out in court.
Shit, but in his case, baby girl done skip town.
Right. And see, I had to go
from the shy. You feel me? She done dipped all the way down to Dallas.
The best thing you can do is try to figure out what region of Dallas they in and pull them school records. Because if you got joint custody, you can pull school records and find out
especially
if your kid's in that school.
I should have asked him, shit, is your name on a birth certificate? Shit, if your name on your son's birth certificate, you got more power than you think you do, bro.
I tried.
Because you established those rights.
I tracked my daughter in Atlanta. She was going to a school in Atlanta. And I found out she was a school in Atlanta. I was about to fly down there and go to the school and get her. Then the school, when I called the school, they told me, she had left the school by 2 weeks. So I figured only where she'll go from Atlanta is back to Detroit. So I had a detective, because I had kidnapping charges. I had a detective, go through the schools and see if she enlisted in any school and shit. And she found out that my daughter was in a school in Shelby Township. So once we found out my daughter was in school in Shelby Township, the detectives are like, if you want to get your daughter, you better come down before school get out.
For real.
So shit, I had got off work, ran down to the school and shit, went into the office, was like, I'm here to pick up my daughter. And they was like, well, we never heard of you. I was like, you see these court papers right here? Read what it say.
I'd have been like, my name on that birth
certificate.
Full
custody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they had to, give me my daughter. So, they was in a frantic. They called the mother. The detective was like, let me speak to the mother. He's like, well, I'm down here with the father, and, he has his court papers. If you want to come down and dispute it or talk, come down. You think she showed up? Hell no. I ain't seen her since. You know what saying? And when I got my daughter, you know, I even text the mother like, okay, I got my daughter. Yet and still, she needs her clothes. Yeah, you know, everything.
She's like, no, nigga, you wanted it that bad.
Dude,
start over.
Exactly. Basically, that's what it was. Because, I mean, I was like, you don't even have to drop them off to me. You can drop them off to, you know,
whatever,
somebody,
nigga.
you know.
You can throw them bitches on the side of the road. Just I can ride by, pick them up.
Right. Dude, so when...
Motherfuckers be bitter, boy.
When I got my daughter back, I had to go buy all new clothes, new underwears, new shoes, everything.
I hate down on women, bro. I hate down on women. But them women that know they know good, what they used to say back in the day, you know good.
Man.
Yeah, those ones that know they know good, man. My youngest son do this. He be like, no.
And see,
man, y'all be that, bro.
We got to get out of the stereotype because the stereotype is that black men don't take care of their kids.
Yeah, y'all.
Let's not do the stereotype. Let's do statistics. Now, go into statistics, and you'll find out majority of black men take care of their kids. Even if you go out in your community, go to school. Look at who's taking the kids to school in the morning. Look at who's out in these malls and stuff with their kids. There's a lot of black fathers out here. There's a lot of black fathers out here that don't take no shit about their kids. You know, they're not gonna accept that. Oh, your kid can't go with you because this or that. No, I'm not in the feelings.
I understand,
if
bro.
You in your feelings, that's your problem.
It take two to tango. Once we done made that decision that baby gonna come around in this earth, and I'm making my decision to be in this life, man. You should not. You wasn't that quick to stop me from getting in them motherfucking drawers, bitch.
I'm like, if you don't want to get your ass drugged down the court every day, you shouldn't have
shit,
a kid about it.
Shit, obviously these hoes don't give about that shit.
No, because
they ain't coming to court.
They have this in their mind. The court is always going to rule in their favor. And one thing I tell a lot of fathers, old school judges, maybe you got to fight them motherfuckers tooth and nails. But them old school judges,
they slowly fading off.
They fading off. Now you got people that have rational minds. They have basically the thought of the world today. They're not living in the frame of mind that, you know, a mother has specific rights to the kids. They feel like, you know, both parents should have rights to the kids. So the courts today are becoming more lenient. We as fathers, we are the ones that's docile. We are the ones that's not fighting for our rights. So we got to make a stance and say, hey, we're not going to take this shit.
What do you say on how? Move on for your rights. Move along.
And it is, man. We got to show a stance, even when it comes to, like when we spoke on default fathers. You know, if we get 1,000 fathers to march downtown, and we out there, we marching and we getting petitions signed and shit, when we become that big and powerful, that's when you start getting things to moving, because it ain't no way in the world it should be anything called a default father.
I agree.
You know, that's fraud. If you do fraud, you will be arrested for it. You will be in jail. You know what I'm saying? Fraud is fraud. So whether you doing checks or you putting a man name on paperwork that you know that ain't the father just to collect benefits for it, that's fraud.
That's fraud for sure.
You should be locked up for that. So how in the hell can they get away with that shit? And you know, people say, well, it's a law. You can make a man a default father. That's the most pitiful shit in the world, dude.
Can you make a mom a default mom?
Hell no. Hell no. If you go down to A and you put another woman's name down as the mother of a child, that's fraud. They will drag your ass in and out of court. You will be jailed.
Denied your right, denied the aid and all.
Man.
And I hate that. I hate that king. I'm gonna call you king, bro. I hate that king gotta go through something like that. Cause like I said, you ain't the only one, Q. You know, so keep your head up. I want to give him some motivating words right fast. Keep your head up, bro. Stay diligent. You feel me? I say stay diligent. If you can pay for it, you don't know it, go pay for it. You feel me? If you don't know it, Go ahead down there, and if you can afford that trip down there and get you some free consultation from a lawyer that's down there to see what you can do. Try to do something like that. If you can't call one. You know.
And I'm gonna tell you what I did. Basically, I went to school for criminal justice, so I studied criminal law. I didn't know anything about family law. You know, when I got into the case with my youngest daughter, I started studying, family law. And what I used to do is sit in the courtroom, and I used to watch lawyers. You know, I watched, the people in court, what they talk about, the motions they file, and shit like that. That's where I got that knowledge from, to combat what was happening to me. So, from reading and watching these court cases and shit, I learned how to do my own case. I fired my lawyer. My lawyer basically told me we had to go back to court, and he told me at one point, he was like, well, if you want to continue this case, which was the same case,
literally,
if you want to continue this case, it's going to be an extra $5,000. I was like, dude, I'm not paying you $5,000. You don't file the motions I asked you to. You know what I'm saying? We come to court, and basically you just let the judge just dog your ass. You know what I'm saying? I was
really
like,
passive. He was a passive.
Yeah, I'm like, at this point, you fired. I don't need your fucking help. You know what I'm saying? And when I won my case, I called my lawyer, and I was like, guess what? I got full custody of my daughter. And I wanted that to be a smack in his face, because you the motherfucker with the degree. You the motherfucker with the law license. I don't have a law license. And I took on the whole friends of the court, all these fucking judges, and everybody else, and I came out on top. You couldn't do that for me. What does that say to you as a fucking lawyer? You weak as hell.
You gotta stay diligent, bro.
And if I could remember his name, I would say his name, because he's a sorry motherfucker. I mean, and just for the amount of shit they charge you for, if you look at the breakdown on some of this shit, man, appearance in court, you go to court
did that, boy. I say
fucking 5 minutes, and these motherfuckers want to charge you $400 and $500 for appearing in court.
I say an hour? Oh my God, that's a waxation, boy. I say it pays to go to school, huh?
and especially when they not representing you. My thing is, if I'm paying you, and I ask you to file a motion, regardless if you feel like the motion is warranted or not, you should file that fucking motion.
They like shit. Once they done with you, they going home to their family regardless.
Right.
They just trying to pro up before they get there.
So it's
they pro up.
It's like, sometimes you gotta follow your own mind and know when enough is enough. When I'm gonna take it out these lawyers' hands.
I was just about to say how to handle it in a different perspective. Because that's what you did. You came at a different angle. You know what I'm saying? So that'll be something dope to tell them. Come at it from a different angle, bro. Like, I know you done tried, we seen it. We see you.
And see, the judge used to be impressed, because
the more you try.
I used to come to court, and I have my briefcase. Dude, I'm serious. I have a briefcase, and I pull out these files. And my files was dated by years. So if they wanted to go back to some shit, you know what I'm saying? Well, I see you was in court 2000 or this or that. I'll pull out that file. Like, okay, in 2000, this is what we was doing. You know what I'm saying?
That shit highly documented.
I mean, you had to, dude, because, one thing the judge said to the kid's mother, she was like, I see you guys coming to court, month after month. And when I see Mr. Jackson, he has all his paperwork. He has all his folders, but I see you come to court and you have nothing.
Anytime.
It's because I wasn't going to let them get a leg up on me to the point where, it's jeopardizing me and my daughter's relationship. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to nip that in the butt as fast as I could. Because, it's like when you fighting for your kids, like, dudes tell me all the time, man, I'm just stressed. I'm so depressed. You got to get over that shit. You got to fight. It ain't no, it ain't no time to feel sorry for yourself. It ain't no time to feel bad about the situation. Feel good about yourself because you standing up.
For sure. And once you overcome this shit, that's a victorious moment.
Use that anger.
Yep.
Use that stress and build your case.
Yep.
And fight the motherfuckers tooth and nails. That's your kid. You have every right to
got
be in that
all
kid's life.
rights.
You know, because it's a funny situation because you look at all the shit that they do in court. And as a man, when the judge tell me, okay, Mr. Jackson, you got to pay $700 a month in child support. And I eat that, and I'll be like, okay, I pay $700 a month in child support. Now the tables turn. I got custody of my daughter. Okay, Mr. Jackson, such and such is gonna pay you $100 a month in child support. Dog, where was that energy at? Where's the energy at?
Thank you.
Because, you told me, well, Mr. Jackson, you have a degree, so even though that you don't have a job in your field, by you having that degree, you have an earning power of 45 to 60,000 a year. Not that I have a job that makes that much, but I have an earning power.
What you could make.
Right. So if I have an earning power, she has a degree, same as mine. So don't she have that same earning power? I have heard judges sit up in court and say, well, you had a kid a week on, and then the father had a kid a week on. So basically, both of y'all are getting the kid 2 weeks out of a month. But we're going to set your child support at $300. Whoa, what the fuck you mean set child support? If we had a kid the same amount of time, why in the fuck am I paying child support?
This shit be far-fetched as fuck, boy. They just be pulling shit out the rabbit's hat.
How is that even possible if I'm providing and
the same equality?
Right, the same shit, and you tell me I gotta pay $300 a month, and we keeping the kid the same amount of time, the same amount of overnights and everything. So you see how the system is off balance, and it's meant for a tool to financially strap. You know what I'm saying? Get you in a financial bond. That's why I told people, a lot of people was like, how did you handle, when dealing with, friends of the court and shit. I was like, when me and the kid's mother separated, the first thing I did is went down to the friends of the court and established custody. And I established child support. And they was like, well, why would you do that if the mother didn't, force it on you? I'm like, people are people. Feelings are feelings. So what if she wake up one day and be like, you know what? I no longer like this motherfucker. I'm going to hit him with child support.
Like they tend to do.
So you got to understand, when they do that, what it is, the courts go back and say, you know what? Mr. Jackson, you haven't been paying child support. And I say, hold up. I've been buying my kids shoes. I've been, giving them money.
Don't even matter in court.
Guess what? That's a gift.
Yep.
So you've been giving a gift for these last 3 years. You've been giving a bunch of gifts, but guess what? You're in arrears, $10,000. So we're gonna start you off in arrears. So I never wanted to put myself in a situation where I'd be in arrears. I done had too many.
10,000 is a federal.
Right.
That's a warrant.
I done had too many people before me that gave me the knowledge, like,
Literally.
dude, you need to jump on it and take care of your business before they do it. So when I went down there, my child support started at day one. I didn't have no fucking arrears.
Yeah,
but if I would have let it go on 2 and 3 years, they would have came back and hit me with arrears. So I would have started off my child support in a negative. And just like you said, over $10,000 is a felony. You can go to jail for that.
Yeah, you be issued a warrant. I know firsthand, 2 years, 10 days.
So you figure, you just filed for child support. They say you in a negative for $10,000. They put a warrant out for you. Now, you owe them $10,000. You get locked up. You lose your job. You know what I'm saying? Your bond is $5,000 just to get out. You lose your house or your apartment. You lose your car. You basically lost everything.
off because I want to take care of my child, but
Right.
you done upped and dipped on me. You put me in this spot. You put me in this fucked up position. You know what I'm saying? Whether it was shit. Dog said he ain't paying child support, but yet and still shit. Regardless, you know, who wanna feel something like
The
that?
thing about it is, regardless if you pay child support or not, you still have a right to see your kid.
Yeah, by all means, man.
I mean, and I'll say this: it's a lot of women that leave their kids to be raised with the father, and they pay zero amount of child support. But you never hear people walking around saying, "Dad beat mom."
You never hear that shit.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of fathers out here raising their kids that's not getting Section 8, that's not getting aid, that's not getting child support. But they make do every day. I wish I could get Section 8.
What?
I wish I could get some food stamps. Dude, when I spend $300 at the grocery store,
On eggs. Say no.
dude, I hate to show you my cart
Yeah, what?
compared to somebody that's getting EBT.
So, man, what?
They be coming down the aisle with 2 goddamn shopping carts.
Full of shit.
Piled to the top, shit flowing over. You know, I can't just because I'm a single father, I can't sign up for Section 8. First thing they'll tell me, you make too much money.
Yep.
So my assistance with my kids is just me.
Yep.
Nobody's giving me shit. Everything I do is on me. No child support, no Section 8, none of that shit. No EBT. But I'm fine with that. And I don't want a pat on the back, and I don't want motherfuckers saying, hey, you're a great father. I hate when people say that shit.
I be like, man, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
I hate when people be like, oh, you know, you deserve accolades. You raising 4 girls by yourself and this and that. I don't give a fuck. That's what I'm supposed to do. These are my kids.
They mine. They came from me first.
I
gave them to her.
I don't need a pat on the back for that.
Or I gave them to them. You feel me?
You know, and you know, people always like, I went to a doctor's office before, and this funny because I went to the doctor's office and I took my daughter in there, and they was like, okay, they called her name and shit. So I came up there with her, and she was like, what is your relationship? I was like, this is my daughter. And they was like, well, her mom couldn't bring her. And, you know, I took offense to that, and I started to, you know, jump out my rare form, but, you know, I got my daughter there with me, and I'll be like, well, I had custody of my kids, so, you know, I'm the father, so I brought my daughter. Why? Is it a problem? Do her mom necessarily got to be here?
I'd have just been like, why?
You know what I'm saying?
Don't worry about that.
It shows you how they look at fathers. You know what I'm saying? Even in the, you know, the simplest thing is taking your kids to the doctor, the eye doctor, and, you know, dealing with them when it comes to school. Like, and, you know, I used to tell motherfuckers, be like, well, where their mother at? I'm like, their mother in college. Their mother at work. You know what I'm saying? So our relationship, basically, when my kid's mother come to me and be like, you know, I want to further my career. You know, when we had, you know, our child, you know what I'm saying? I put stuff off, but right now you are comfortable at your job and you work a set amount of hours, but, you know, can I go back to school? Can, you know, I do something for myself and, you know, have this time? I'll be like, you know what?
Go ahead.
Pack their shit up. They got rooms here. You know what I'm saying? Come get them on the weekend, or, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you got to do, the door is open. If you want to come during the week, come on, come get them. You know what I'm saying? Go to school, get your education to better yourself. Because when both of us doing good, our kids have no problem. You got 2 parents that's working.
Doing phenomenal.
Right. So, I mean, what's the problem? And I tell this with these fathers. Dude, if you only working an 8-hour shift, what's the problem with you getting your fucking kids? Mm-hmm. Why are you spending more time with your homeboys than you spending with your motherfucking kids?
Poop.
Dude, like, which one is more important? You're not babysitting. Don't ever tell me I'm babysitting my fucking kids. I don't babysit my kids. If my kids are with me, my kids are with me.
I love that one. I say that all the time, but I say that because I'm a father. I be like,
I never like that term. I don't babysit my kids. Motherfuckers be like, oh, what you babysitting your kids? Nigga, I don't babysit my kids. You know, when my kids don't live with me, they live with me.
Yeah.
You know, It's been time in my life. I tell people, all my kids' mother had keys to my house. So regardless if I was home or not, they'd be like, I'm dropping the kids off. I'd be like, all right, no problem. You got keys. Do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? I made it to where I didn't want that stigma or that term, you just a weekend dad. No, I'm a father 24 hours, 365
Facts.
days a year.
Facts.
If my kids need to be at my house for any reason, they're at my house. This is where they live. Yeah, they live with their moms, but they live with their dads too. Because just like they got a bedroom at their mom's house, they got a bedroom at my house. And my kids love it. Because I don't know, my kids got a funny sense of humor because I always tell my kids, I'll be like, you want me and your mom to get back together? They be like, no. They be like, y'all not even the same. My mom's is like night and day. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they love their parents. They love the relationship. They love the love because they have a whole village.
And we all need to strive for some shit like that, man.
It's no need to argue. Anytime you got a kid and that kid's 10 and 12 years old, what the fuck y'all still arguing for?
Yeah, what?
Whatever y'all had was 12 to 10 years ago. Y'all still arguing over that shit? Get over it. Grow the fuck up. Raise that kid. Make sure that kid is happy. Make sure that kid mental and emotional feelings are good. Stop arguing over petty shit. Stop arguing over dollars. When you put dollars over kids, you're a sick person. Because the best interest of the kid is to make sure that kid is happy.
Straight. By all means. And shit, like I said, man, we about to move from that right there. Hopefully we can motivate, and hopefully we did motivate, and hopefully we empowered you on what you going through or what y'all going through, you feel me? Because like I said, we be having motherfuckers reaching out. He ain't the only one that's saying something. So you feel me? So appreciate that. That's mad love, and we thankful for you even feeling comfortable to tell us your information, for us to hold a dialogue with you through our platform, you feel me? Because that shit powerful. And we hate that you have to go through some shit like that. We hate that any of us as men, as people, as human, we got to go through some shit like that. So, like we always say, bro, let's stick together. Let's stick together and motivate.
And, I'm so strong on the stance of fathers sticking together. And I just want to put it out there. You can hit our inbox. You can message us. Any fathers that want to get together this summer,
gotta be the summer.
And go downtown and march, and go downtown and sign petitions, to combat this deadbeat, father shit and default father shit. Let's go down there and combat. Let's show them that our voices need to be heard. I mean, we are visual people. We have to see it. You know how powerful it'll be for them to see 2,000 to 3,000 fathers downtown marching, fighting for their rights. I don't even think it's ever been done.
Shit, we could, whether it has or hasn't. Shit,
I don't think it's been done yet.
Man,
these fathers need their voice heard, dude, because they
fathers, good fathers. You feel me? Fathers that's trying. You feel me? We could all come together as a fatherhood on some shit like that. That'd be a powerful message.
Because I'm down for it. If you got the fight in you, and you want to move forward and network, like I say, get with these groups, these father rights groups, and find your way into them, and don't be afraid to talk about your situation and what's going on with you, and get the information that you need. I know personally in Michigan, we got a lot of them. Yeah. Fathers' right groups and stuff like that, and you can even find lawyers, that'll help you pro bono, and through that, and get you to the point where you are seeing your kid and you are in your kid's life, and don't be afraid to go after the mother. I don't give a damn about going after the mother.
At that point, man, my child is my investment. My child, I treat my kids like a business, man. And if I'm gonna be successful in life and my legacy gonna continue on, I gotta make sure they smart and right and taken care of. You feel me? So you gotta do what you gotta do to put your knowledge into your kids, man.
You got every right to be in your kid's life. Don't let anybody tell you to wait till your child turn 18 and all that shit. You know, that's bullshit to me. If you're a man, if you're a stand-up father, you're a stand-up man, you wouldn't even go for no shit like that. That wouldn't even be a thought, you know. And we got to remember that. You got to fight. If you want anything in life you want, you got to fight for it. That's including sometimes your kids. So, you know, with me, I'm ecstatic that I've been able to raise 4 girls, man, and watch them grow and become the people they are.
My proudest moments. Shit.
So, you know, that's one thing can't nobody take from me. They can never take that from me. And if anybody that know me, one thing they say about me, regardless of whatever I did in life, they be like, that man raised them kids. Yeah. He raised them girls.
Straight old school style. That man raised them kids. Straight old school style. That's how they be saying it too.
Right. Like that man had them kids everywhere he go. Yeah. You see them kids and they look like his twins.
So man, keep your head up, y'all, bro. Q, y'all, everybody, man. Keep your head up, ladies. Stop drawing this type of hate towards our men. And fellas, you know, let's continue to project love towards our women. Shit.
All right.
But before we go into the fuck you for the week, because I wanna make this post. This is about to be a post right here. I got into a car accident on Shayner than 12 Mile. I needed my the video footage because the cop tried to say I was wrong, right? Right. I needed the video footage, so I went to the Tim Hortons and I asked for the video footage. The first time I went, I said, "Excuse me, you know, I just got into a car accident, such, you know, can I get the video footage? You know, I'm nice and meek, you know." You know, they're like, "Okay, come back with the police report. I got you." You know, I come back, I had to pay for the police report. Since when, I don't know, but pay for the police report, no trip. Come back, okay. I gotta send you to my manager. The manager gonna be here on this date. Come back on this time. All right, no trip. Come back. Manager here. All right, well, I'm busy, so I'll take your number down and I look into it and I text it to you. Wait a couple days go by, no text. I go back up there. I say, while I'm walking in, he see me. Now he acting like he fixing some shit, just holding some shit up. Right. So I say, I'm real respectful. I come out very respectful first. So I say, you know, I'm just trying to see if I can get that paperwork. You know, I'm trying to handle some legal business and I need it. So he say, you act like you got court today or tomorrow. I say, regardless of when I got court, I just need to make sure all my eggs in order. So I want to make sure, you know, if I was wrong and I see that I'm wrong through footage, it's no point in me taking it even further. But why do I have to explain this to you? So he jumped off the bar, bro. And it took everything in me not to be a nigga. It took everything in me not to be a nigga because I'm an asshole, bro. I'm a real asshole. I'm a jerk. I can be that, you feel me? And I don't be wanting to be that because, you know, that shit deflects my energy. And I can't be the nigga that's always preaching good energy, good vibes, and I come off wrong. But some motherfuckers deserve that shit, you feel me? So this right here for you, y'all don't go there. And then I go up there, I turns around, it was a black dude, it was a white lady in the lobby, and she looking at me, all the pause. I turns around, it's a black little boy who had on the Tim Hortons uniform. I say, now if I was an asshole and I walk back there and I beat his ass like I want to, I'll be wrong because mama back there be recording me. But all the time he racist as fuck talking to me like I'm a fucking kid. Like if I'm in the wrong and all I'm doing is asking for shit and I done provided him everything he done asked me. Young dog like, yeah. I'm like, but I ain't gonna be the belligerent nigga. I'm gonna just leave. But I got some shit for his ass. I told you I'm an asshole. I ain't gonna say that. But
that's how it be, man.
Yeah, so that ain't the fuck you for the week, but that's a post. That's for sure a post. So go ahead, top on to that fuck you for the week.
Well, I guess since we on this subject, gotta give a fuck you for the week, all the mothers that do things out of spite, man, that keeps these kids away from their fathers. They definitely need their fathers in their life, man. That's truly a big impact. And when you keep a kid just because of financial reasons, you doing a kid a dishonor. And, you know, a mother can raise a child to a certain extent, but that child needs male role models. That child needs male father figures in their life. And if they got a father that's want to be a father, I mean, don't block them. You got plenty of men out here that don't want to be fathers. You got plenty of men out here that don't want to be bothered. But when you got that one that invests this time and energy into a kid and want to be there and might not be financially stable to, you know, what you feel financially stable, but he trying, let that man try. Let that man be there. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a father that's trying, as long as he there. Because he can give that kid more than just financial being. He can give him knowledge. He can give him, you know, how to carry, he can show him how to carry himself, how to conduct himself, you know, be a man. And that's what fathers are there for, discipline, teaching that child how to be the man, teaching that child how to, you know, look at different situations and how to handle them situations and not handle them off emotions. So, I mean, if you're a mother that's out there, you know, you bitter, you know, you feel like, you know, father is not giving you the money that you think you deserve, not, you know, not for the child. It's basically what they want. Well, fuck you. You don't deserve that. You really don't even deserve that kid. That kid should really be with his father. And every father out here should be fighting for their kids like they fighting for their life. Because that's a part of your life.
That's a fact.
You know, that's a part of your bloodline. So if you're out here and you bitter and shit, get the fuck over it. Fuck you. That's how we handle that.
Before we get to my hold you up for the week, I want to say this. We forgot to acknowledge this. Next month is February, which is, we hate to say Black History Month, but for the sake of terms, we say Melanated Month. You feel me? But it's Black History Month.
How many days we get this year?
No, we gotta share it.
We gotta share it.
Yeah,
who we sharing it with this year?
All-Star Weekend.
Oh, okay.
Super Bowl weekend, Valentine's Day. I think it's President's Day, LGBTQ week.
Oh, so our 28 days is down to like about 10 or 10.
I mean, it really ain't even 10 or 12, but to each his own. You feel me? But you know, we gonna stay powerful. We got a lot of powerful messages coming up. So make sure y'all tap into what we got going on for Any and Everything podcast by Two Kings and the Black History Month, Melanated History
And
Month.
please, this Black History Month, I beg you, find somebody else. Find somebody else that, you know, bring to the table to your kids. Please, not Martin Luther King, not Malcolm X, not Harriet Tubman, not, what's my man with the afro?
Dr. CB next, nah.
Frederick Douglass.
Dr. CB next.
Okay, I mean, find somebody else. It's way more people in Black history than just them people. They did great things, so I'm not going to take it from them. They did hell of a things, but we have a broader history than that.
Yeah.
You know, I teach my kids about anybody black that did anything that made an impact on our culture. So, you know, I just get tired of people be like, you know, kids be like, I learned about Martin Luther King today. Come on, dude. We got to do better. We got to teach more than that. So find somebody else this month, this year, you know, and put your kids up on it.
For sure. My hold you up for the week gonna be for these fathers that are fighting. You feel me? And they not feel like they're not getting nowhere. You know, stay diligent to your craft. Your craft is your child. You feel me? Perfection through your child. So, you know, whatever it takes to get to your child, whatever it takes to get to perfection, do what you need to do, man. I know you're gonna have dark times, dark days, you know, but fight, man. Fight, man. That's your seed. That's your baby. That's your baby girl. That's your baby boy. You know, do what you got to do. I know that, man, we shouldn't even have to go through no shit like that. But since these laws, whoever made them, you feel me, and they said they was gonna be that, and you feel me, it seemed like these brothers getting hit with these bad laws the hardest, but you know, continue to fight, bro.
That's why we got to fight to change them, dude. If we ain't no say nothing, if we ain't no stand up for it, man, just imagine when the dude downtown he went downtown. He was at Frank Murphy. He was a guy in Detroit. And basically, he was one of them guys that got caught up in the default father thing. And like he said, he didn't even know nothing about the kid. And the mother even admitted that he wasn't the father. He didn't know anything about it, but welfare told her she needed a name. And she just gave him his name. Now, I think he's $30,000 in arrears. Oh, the kid that's not even his. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we got to do better. We got to be out here vigilant about defending our rights as a father. And if we're going to stay quiet, they're going to continue to fuck over us.
Facts. So on that point, man, going into the rocket or drop it right there. The rocket or drop it, rocking or dropping. Make sure y'all hit those polls. Make sure y'all hit those likes. Make sure y'all tell them how y'all feel about this track. This duo Moolah, No Procrastination. Tap into it.
Duo. Niggas better get off your ass. Yeah. Get to it, nigga. Look, I ain't into procrastination, I just go and get it. No bullshitting, stay committed, completing the mission. My niggas sitting on their ass, don't wanna play the victim. But when that money talks, I'm all ears, I sit and listen. See, when they talk about a hustler, I fit the description. No, I ain't talking Bobby Seals, but I'm one of them niggas. And I ain't in no competition, but a nigga winning. Stay optimistic, plot and plan, and I go out and get it. I follow my vision, staying focused on my concepts. It starts with the mindset, it's all a process. You start from the bottom, climb steps, progress. And I've been grinding my whole life, it ain't stopped yet. And I'ma do it for infinity. Bet them niggas remember me. Hardcore as the women. He fuck haters in their energy. Ballin' like fuck a injury. Count bands, enjoy my inner peace. So when you catch me doing me, just let a nigga be. Lately I'm feeling chosen. Like I'm the one. Like shit ain't been fun. Let's sit in bars, getting fun. I'm chasing Sarah to lead bread and I want every single crunch. I got a lot of shit to do before it's all said and done. I need $1 million crib, 100 acres on the hilltop. Rack stuffed in my jeans, all my pockets filled knots. That's a picture perfect scene to capture a still shot. How backwoods and life. No, I don't pill pop. Ain't really into fashion, just get fresh for the fuck of it. I want it, I'ma buy it. I ain't really in the budget. It ain't got too many opinions for that public shit. Don't got a voice, and when you know how real niggas feel about that sucker shit, my vibration been on a different wavelength. I don't make time for it if the shit don't make sense. Take a while for the love, but niggas gon' hate quick. Fuck it, cause whatever side you on, gon' with is greatness. Do I?